Mystery the Changeling, Tackle Dungeon, emotional tribute to Robin Williams, the late great actor who took his life in 2014. Prior, he had finished a review of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Season 6, Episode 22, Gloomy Point of View. But today, Moonshadow will be attempting a review of Dragon Ball Super, Episode 60. Back to the Future. Black's identity revealed. Will our dynamic host succeed in reviewing this brand new edition of the Dragon Ball franchise? Or will he fall flat on his face as bad as Yamcha at his baseball career? Find out today on the exciting new episode of Moonshadow Reviews.
Hello everyone, this is your host Moonshadow Mystery the Changeling. How is everybody doing today? I realize that I've gotten into a habit of recording more than one video at a time, and well, I hope everyone understands. That's because I have a tight schedule. I have real life to deal with other than just YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful hobby, one I enjoy doing, and I'm glad I contribute to. Fair warning before this video gets any further, there are potential spoilers ahead for anyone who has not seen Dragon Ball Super. Especially if you've not seen the most recent episode, which premiered in Japan yesterday and has been translated into dub today. So, again, spoiler warning ahead. Now, for those who are unaware, Dragon Ball Super is the latest rendition of the Dragon Ball franchise. It came out earlier this year, I believe. I've been following... No, it was last year's when it came out. I've been following it fairly consistently. I've seen all 60 episodes as of this recording. And so far it has been hit and miss, both in terms of writing and in terms of animation. Now, before I get into the main interview, here's my reasons why. The animation, as far as from the first episode to present, has not always been consistent. It has had moments where it has felt more like you're watching the original Dragon Ball with certain characters, and then it has had extreme moments where it's been consistent with Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and the Dragon Ball movies, specifically Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. Now, as far as writing, and this is probably due to the fact that I've seen the vast majority of this franchise in English dubbing as opposed to Japanese subbing for English, so I'm sure there's a lot of things lost in translation. But Goku's writing in particular, he seems to go from, based on what the plot needs, being like his child and teenage state of mind, and then his adult experience state of mind. Now, it may have something to do with the Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan God form, and I say this because it was made in commentary by a couple of characters in the canon that Goku seemed to get younger after the transformation. So it's highly possible that perhaps some part of him did rejuvenate a little bit and is now a little bit more hyperactive than it used to be as a result. Now, into the meat of the review. In today's episode, which is a continuation of last week's, where Zamos, who was a Kai in training in a different universe, I believe it was Universe 8. I could be mistaken by this. For those unaware, the universe we know as the show canon in the manga canon is Universe 7. Allegedly, there are 12 universes in total, each with a correlating... Was it 12 universes or 10 universes? Either way, there's multiple universes, each with a correlating twin. I'm assuming 12 because 6 and 7 are twins, which would make 1 and 12 twins. Anyways, in the last episode, it was revealed that Zamos, who was a god in training, was actually a villain. Now, a lot of people suspected this And it's no big surprise, because if you've seen the episodes beforehand, um, where the future Trunks is universe, Zamos is a villain there. I mean, that doesn't always translate properly because different events happen and affect different things. So it was highly possible that Zamos wasn't a villain in Universe's 7 current timeline. However, unfortunately, it was revealed to be the case due to his hatred of humanity. And he was apparently going to assassinate his mentor, who was training him to become a Supreme. After checking these details, Beerus, Whis, Goku, and the Supreme Kai of Universe 7 go to that universe, and Beerus actually succeeds in executing Zamos so that he doesn't do in the past what his future self does. What does his future self do? Well, murdered his mentor, got a hold of all 7 Super Dragon Balls, which are for the God Shenron, not just the Shenron we know, but the God Shenron. And believe me, when I say God, he definitely is the epitome of a god, in that he is literally the spans of a universe in size. So massive that he has to devour you momentarily so that his essence can grant your wish. It's insane. He's in fact so powerful that you have to speak to him in the ancient dragon language, which apparently the gods and Kais are able to do to an extent. Now, what did he wish for? Well, apparently Zamos wished for his mind to be placed into Goku's body, and vice versa, after which he destroyed his original body, killing Goku. This is unusual because they don't explain, they may explain it in episode 61, but it's unusual because Black, which is the name they gave to the evil Goku, aka Zamos, and Zamos are both in existence. Now, it's possible that after the Super Dragon Balls rejuvenated, he wished for himself to be brought back with his mind intact in that body so that he could cooperate with himself. Sorry for messing with my facial hair. Apparently I didn't shave evenly this morning, so my face has a little weird look to it. It's honestly annoying me a little bit now that I'm seeing it. Anyway, so apparently this is why in previous episodes Goku had said that Black's ki was similar to Zamos's but not identical, because after Zamos's mind was placed in Goku's body, apparently his ki and Goku's ki combined, and now whenever Zamos fights Goku, just like a regular or natural-born Saiyan, he gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And because his body is Goku's body, whenever they clash, he adapts more and more of Goku's fighting capabilities and qualities, which is why Black is able to transform into Super Saiyan God Rose. Now, what is Rose? In my personal opinion, I believe that Rose is actually the next step. Currently, Goku and Vegeta are able to go into Super Saiyan God, or also known as Super Saiyan Red, as well as Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, which is Super Saiyan Blue. Now, if you're following the main canon up till now, it goes from Super Saiyan to from Saiyan to Super Saiyan to Ascended Saiyan, or SSJ2, and then Super Saiyan 3. This would make Super Saiyan Rose the Ascended God transformation, which means that technically Black is actually stronger than Goku and Vegeta, in addition to both him and Zamos having indestructible immortal bodies, which is making this arc extremely interesting. Now, an interesting note to point out is that in episode 59, after Beerus destroyed Zamos, he was under the impression, being a god, being thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years old, that by destroying him, being a god, and destroying Zamos, he eliminated Zamos from all timelines. Now, this would have been interesting because, again, this is future Trunks. And going back to the Android saga, we learned that any event that was stopped in the past, unfortunately, was not stopped in his future. Now, Beerus being a god, it would have been interesting if it had actually transcended, but I'm kind of glad it didn't. Because this means that, yes, while we did save the present of Universe 7 as we know it, it still leaves the future in disarray, and giving us an extremely powerful enemy with which the arc is still continuing. Now, predictability, we're more likely going to see the deaths of some characters before it's all said and done. And there's no telling how many episodes this is going to take. I mean, look at how long the Frieza saga took. It was ridiculous. Now mind, the Resurrection F saga in Dragon Ball Super didn't take near as long as I would have expected. They did stretch it out and expand on it, which I was thankful for. For those who've not seen Resurrection F, or have seen it, trust me, the anime, even though it's the same story, actually did it better. I liked the movie, I liked Battle of the Gods as well. The anime actually did it a little bit better because it wasn't confined to the hour and a half, 2 hour timeline that a lot of these movies are stuck with. So we were able to get a longer arc and a little more interesting fleshing out. They did keep certain elements, and they expanded on it. Now, I'm getting off topic here, I know, but trust me, it's all connected. So again, we've, unfortunately, in previous episodes, the future Bulma was killed. But in this episode, in addition to using the time machine that Cell in the Android Saga he used to go back in time to return to the future, because the original time machine was kaput, just like literally in such rough shape, no way it's ever going to work again. On the bright side, Bulma, Vegeta, and Goku have gone back to the future with Trunks, with Senzu beans, and this is important because Korin and a lot of the other godlike characters were eliminated already. Yet somehow Yajirobe survives. And admittedly for his age, considering he was already an adult during the original Dragon Ball saga, he looks pretty good. You know, he's starting to get that more sagely quality to him. He reminds me a little bit of like a lot of your Ronin type characters, which actually makes him a little more interesting since he is somewhat of a samurai, even though he's a cowardly one. You know, he's a mercenary of sorts. He just picks the laziest job possible. Mai, for those who've been following since the original saga, remember that Mai was Pilaf's #1. Now, in Dragon Ball Super, and we know this because of the movies primarily, at some point, Mai, Emperor Pilaf, and Shu all used the Dragon Balls to wish themselves back to their youth. Unfortunately, it took them all the way back to childhood. Now, I think this has been a positive thing, because Pilaf, Shu, and Mai have all had a chance at redemption. Now, mind, Pilaf is still the greedy little punk he is, but they're showing growth. They're maturing all over again. They're using their previous experience to enhance this experience, and they're actually showing gratitude for the kind things shown toward them. Those who've seen Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F know that Mai actually has a crush on young Trunks. This is amplified tenfold when future Trunks comes back in time, because she sees him with her adult mindset as opposed to her child mindset. Now, in the future, turns out Mai and Trunks are a thing. I apologize for that. We had a guest over who's a relative of ours. Anyway, apparently Mai is part of the Freedom Front against Black and Zamos. And her and Trunks have a thing. So it is very heartwarming to see Trunks in the future getting his life together, still fighting, having a reason to fight, and having these internal conflicts. Now, as Dragon Ball episodes tend to do, episode 60 left us on a bit of a cliffhanger. It wasn't an intensely deep episode. It was mostly a lot of exposition. That's a good transitionary episode between episode 59 and episode 61. We don't really get any real action in this episode. We get some more clarity on how the time travel thing works and how the timelines intersect at this one crucial point during the Android saga and then branch off because of Trunks' interference. I apologize for that. I'm pretty sure this is taken heavily from the Back to the Future franchise, as a lot of time travel references are. And that's not a bad thing. Honestly, as much as I love Back to the Future, I think there's a lot of media that does it better. My Little Pony, as many know, in Season 5, tackled the same conundrum with multiple parallel futures caused by a single ripple in the space-time continuum. For those who are fans of comic books, Justice League Flashpoint... Not Flashpoint, the Flashpoint Paradox, in which Flash goes back in time and changes one tiny little event, results in a horrifically dystopian, borderline apocalyptic timeline. And I like this because with Dragon Ball Super, because it's basically the same thing. The only difference is, whereas Flash's thing worked and backfired, Trunks' worked and at the same time didn't work. Which is good, because this gives us a lot of avenues for potential stories, and I'm actually glad that we got to see Future Trunks again. When they were first talking about Future Trunks becoming part of Dragon Ball Super, a lot of people thought it was going to be the young Trunks that we know in the future in a different timeline than the original Future Trunks. But I'm glad that we've revisited it. You know, I'm still not sure how Zamos in the future learned of Goku in order to use the Super Dragon Balls in order to get Black created. There's a lot of unanswered questions still, but it's not a bad episode, in my opinion. I'm not going to say definitively, because that would make me an analyst. I don't have hard facts. I have my initial responses, my views, etc. For any who may be glancing at my shirt as this video is going on, here's what it is. As you can see, this is the Turtle Hermit logo, which has been part of the Dragon Ball franchise since the original series. And if I turn and show my back, this is North Kai's logo. Now, this is a Dragon Ball Z licensed shirt that I got from Hot Topic for $19.96 plus tax. It's still on sale there. They've been adding more and more stuff, but this is one they've had consistently. I just felt it appropriate to wear it for this specific review, since Goku's gone back to wearing this uniform himself. Even though he's been training under Whis, I think he just prefers this uniform because it's his roots, it's his heritage, it's his primary fighting style. But anyway, I apologize, I keep getting off topic, but this is the kind of the joy and humor you get out of ad-lib commentary. And I apologize right now because I'm just now noticing that there's a lot of glare coming off of my camera and my computer screen that's reflecting in my glasses. I would take them off, but I can't really see for much without them, so, you know, what are you going to do? But anyway, this left us on a little bit of a cliffhanger. But on the bright side, we did get to see that Mai and Bulma are getting along. Now, the one thing I find a little odd about a lot of this with Dragon Ball Super is there's been a lot of callbacks to the original series, and there's been a lot of callbacks, period. And for some reason, Bulma has not as of yet recognized Shu Pilaf for Mai, or if she has, she's simply chosen to forgive and forget. Again, for those where Mai, Pilaf, and Shu were the villains of the original arc in the Dragon Ball series, which was essentially the Emperor Pilaf saga, or aka the Dragon Ball saga. I say Dragon Ball saga because it was the moment where the Dragon Balls were the primary focus early on. You know, it's how we met Puar, it's how we met Oolong, it's how we met Yamcha, it's how we met Roshi, the Ox King. It's how we met Chi-Chi, back when Chi-Chi was actually one of the coolest female characters in the series. So yeah, there's a lot of callbacks with these, and there's a lot of unanswered questions. But there's a whole lot of development that's taken place in Dragon Ball Super so far, and it's carried on into this episode. I mean, it's not a great episode by any means, even for fans of slice of life, it's not really great. It's more exposition than anything else. It's basically filler. I mean, it's what you would call filler for Dragon Ball. Now, the plus side is with the Dragon Ball franchise, filler is not always a bad thing. I mean, very rarely is it ever a bad thing, minus the standard clip show episodes, which thankfully we've not really had very many of yet. There's been one or two early on in Super, but thankfully not enough to make an issue. Well, anyways, everyone, thank you for tuning in. This has been my first thoughts video on Dragon Ball Super. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this just yet or not. I'm going to try to. I actually intended to do one last week, but unfortunately I got caught up with a lot of other things going on. So hopefully I'll be able to do more like this in the future. Again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed hearing my first thoughts, and maybe it gave you something to think of as well. Maybe it inspired you to look up Dragon Ball Super. I do encourage that you support the official release. The animators, the voice actors, they do a lot of hard work, and so do the translators. I know every so often the episodes will appear here on YouTube with the translations, but if you happen to have the patience, if you know Japanese or whatever, tune in and see the official releases. I have no idea when they're going to start translating Dragon Ball Super into English dubbing. It may be next year, it may be this year, I have no idea. But please try to support the official release. There are other websites you can use, such as watchcartoononline.com and kisscartoon.me. But I do encourage you to please support the official release. I know not everyone can, due to, cable restrictions or network restrictions, whatever, and so on and so forth. But I do at least encourage you to try. Now, if you like this video, please click the like button down below. If you didn't, be more than welcome to click the dislike button. I encourage you to express your opinions, and you're more than entitled to them. If you have anything to say about this, any critique, or any suggestions of any kind, please leave it in the comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this one, you can click the subscribe button, or you can click on my name down below the video title and go to my channel and see what other videos I might have available. And then if any of them catch your eye, you're more than welcome to subscribe and see if maybe content I have in the future is something you'd be interested in. Again, please feel free to leave your suggestions. I'm more than happy to read them, respond to them. And if you give me something that I think would make a great video, I'll more than happily do a video on it when I get the opportunity. And I have no issues accrediting you and thanking you for the suggestion. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, I hope that this was a video you enjoyed. And in the words of the narrator from the Dragon Ball franchise, for those who, like me, grew up in the 90s and saw the original English dubbing, tune in next time for the next inciting installment of Moonshadow Reviews. This has been Moonshadow Mystery the Changeling saying, don't go changing for anyone but yourself. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend, great week. Take care, and I hope to hear and see from you soon. Bye, everyone.